Have you ever wanted to rewrite your past? Fix the one mistake that changed everything? What if you were told it's possible, but at a cost? Meet Ryan, a brilliant yet troubled scientist. He wasn't like other geniuses. His obsession wasn't with fame or fortune. It was with time that had betrayed him. 10 years ago, a tragedy struck his family. A tragedy he blamed himself for. But Ryan wasn't the type to sit in regret. For a decade, he worked tirelessly on something everyone told him was impossible, a machine that could bend time itself. He called it the pendulum. Tonight, it was ready. But this wasn't about proving a theory. This was personal. Ryan had one goal: to save his younger brother, Ethan. Ryan was 25 when it happened. Ethan, just 10 years old, was hit by a speeding car while crossing the street. Ryan had promised to pick him up that day but got caught up at work. One missed moment, one delay, cost his brother's life. For years, he replayed that day in his mind. What if he had left work on time? What if he had held Ethan's hand? Regret consumed him, but instead of accepting it, he decided to fight it. He became obsessed with time travel, not to fix the world, but to fix his world. After years of trial and error, Ryan built the pendulum. Unlike the time machines of fiction, this wasn't about flying cars or futuristic gadgets. The pendulum worked by connecting the user's mind to a specific moment in the past, allowing them to influence events through their consciousness. But there was a catch. The pendulum required immense energy, not just from the machine, but from the user. Every second spent in the past would drain Ryan's own life force. He had to act quickly, precisely, and without mistakes. As he set the date, June 14, 2015, the day of Ethan's accident, his hands trembled. This wasn't science anymore. This was a gamble with life and death. As the world blurred and settled, Ryan found himself standing in the park, inside his younger self. It worked. The pendulum had brought him back. He looked around, heart racing, searching for Ethan, and then he saw him, running toward the road, kite in hand. "Ethan!" he shouted, running as fast as his legs could carry him. But something was wrong. His voice didn't feel strong. His body felt sluggish, as if he was fighting against the very fabric of time. He lunged forward, grabbing Ethan's arm just as the car sped past. He had done it. He had saved him. Or so he thought. Time doesn't like to be changed. As Ryan held Ethan's hand, he felt the world shift. The pendulum had warned him. Altering one event could create unforeseen ripples. Suddenly, Ryan was pulled back into the present. He woke up in his lab, gasping for air. The clock read the correct time, but the world outside his window was different. The streets were eerily quiet, and his phone buzzed with strange notifications. He quickly realized that saving Ethan had come at a price. In this new timeline, Ethan was alive, but something else had gone terribly wrong. The ripple effect of saving Ethan had set off a chain of events that led to a devastating accident elsewhere. A train derailment that claimed hundreds of lives. Ryan was faced with an impossible choice: let Ethan live and accept the loss of hundreds of others, or use the pendulum one last time to undo his interference. The machine flickered as Ryan sat down, tears streaming down his face. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Ethan," and activated the pendulum. Ryan learned the hardest lesson of all. Time is not a puzzle to solve, but a reality to accept. The cost of rewriting the past was too great, and he chose to let go, finally freeing himself from the weight of regret. What would you have done in his place? Would you risk the present to change the past? Time holds its mysteries, and perhaps they are best left untouched. If this story made you think, share it with someone who's been stuck in the past. Let's remind each other that while we can't change yesterday, we hold the power to shape tomorrow. And if you're ready for more stories that challenge your perception of reality, stick around. You're just getting started.